fourth quarter, Oakland, California. Golden State Warriors complete an incredible comeback and eliminate Chicago. But for Rick Barry and the Warriors, one more mountain to climb. This was the scene moments ago as Rick Barry got ready to lead the Golden State Warriors on the floor against the Big E, Elvin Hayes, and the Washington Bullets, the best of the East. 7 days ago, Landover, Maryland. This time, the Boston Celtics will not make it. It's Elvin on a turnaround. In the playoffs, he is averaging more than 26 points a game. Fifth best ever. Yet there are some who say that the Big E cannot perform well in a big series. This is the biggest series that Elvin Hayes has ever been in. Moments ago, he said he couldn't wait to prove that everyone was wrong about Elvin Hayes and his performance on the basketball floor.
You'll see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Game 1 of the championship series between Golden State, the best in the West, and Washington, the title holders in the East. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Oscar Robertson. And Oscar, as you know, everybody says that Washington is going to win this rather easily, but yet Golden State somehow has managed to do that job all year long. Can they do it one more time?
I don't know, Brett. It all depends on Rick Barry and how well Reardon plays against him. I know during the regular season, Reardon did a pretty good job against him. This is true. Chicago was supposed to have beaten Golden State, but they didn't. I think they're a little better than people give them credit for.
What about Elvin Hayes? The Rookie of the Year, Keith Wilkes, has been assigned to him. Can he handle it?
Maybe outside, but I think the Big E's just too strong underneath the baskets. He may have to maneuver a lot, but Adams has his players on the bench to do that.
All right, speaking of Al Adams, he says there is a possibility that he will use Cliff Ray and George Johnson at the same time. Sonny Hill is here in Landover with us. We'll explore that possibility in just a moment. Sellout crowd on hand at the Capitol Center, in excess of some 19,000 here with Sonny Hill. And you know, Sonny, this is somewhat like the first couple of rounds in a heavyweight championship fight. Both clubs will be feeling each other out. You, of course, have been talking to the coaches all morning long and the ball players. What should our audience look for in this matchup?
You're not going to say raisin buns to me today, huh? We should look for in the long range of the series the play of the players coming off the bench. Witherspoon has been outstanding on all of the series for the Washington Bullets. His play has been superb. The Golden State Warriors, they have a bench that they do different things out there. Witherspoon has shot very well. The Golden State Warriors bench has different strokes for different folks on different days. Al Adams has done an outstanding job manipulating his bench and getting the most out of it. Maybe the seventh game against Chicago typified it most when he went to find the combination that would be successful for him, and he was able to find that combination. When you talk about key matchups in the ball game, the key matchup for the Golden State Warriors has to be the one against Elvin Hayes. They'll start off with Keith Wilkes on him. Keith Wilkes will primarily try to do what Paul Silas had some success when the Boston Celtics had to go against Elvin Hayes. That is to front him and keep him away from the ball. Al Adams said that he would also go with other players. At times he would have George Johnson on him and Clifford Ray in the game at the same time. He also would go with the old wise veteran and Bill Bridges, who will try to muscle him and also try to keep the ball away from him. The Warriors will have their problems matching up against Rick Barry. They've had some success with Mike Reardon playing him. Reardon not only has been able to do a good job, but he's held Rick Barry to 8 points in one game and 12 points in another. And Rick Barry is averaging 11 less points against the Washington Bullets than he averaged against the league. So these matchups are the ones that we should look for in this series.
All right, Sonny, we'll look forward to talking to you at halftime, taking a look at the halftime highlights at that time. Now, these two teams met 4 times during the regular season. Washington won 3 times, and Golden State only once. That's a statistic to remember.
You want a pair of pliers? Here you are.
That's no ordinary pliers.
No, it's a vice grip. Locking pliers. It's a vise, clamp, speed wrench, a pipe wrench with a terrific grip, nail puller, a door pin remover, wire cutter.
How about a pliers?
And it's an adjustable pliers. A vice grip locking pliers.
Not ordinary pliers.
Right. Cost about the same, but it does so much more. Vice grip.
Eric is back. New Eric Tips. A long, daring shape. A big, bold taste in a tip cigar. Smoking satisfaction that's been a long time coming. Discover new Eric Tips, the most interesting idea since the blonde. Eric Tips, natural, menthol, or cherry flavor. Bold new companion to famous regular size Eric.
The NBA Championship Series will continue after this word from your local station. Meet the new Eldridge Cleaver and the beautiful Empress of Iran on 60 Minutes, today at 6, 5 Central on CBS. NBA Playoffs, sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The new Volkswagen Rabbit, happy days are here again. And by TravelKnit Sports Coats, available only in the men's store at Sears.
Of the championship series about to begin. 19,000 fans on their feet right now, cheering the introduction of their favorites, the Washington Bullets, the Big E. Elvin Hayes, the first player out onto the court. He will be joined by Mike Reardon, Wesley Unseld, Phil Chenier, and Kevin Porter.
Yeah, this would be a great game today, Ben. Although Golden State's not regarded as being a power, I think they're a better team than people give them credit for. They've come a long way with a very few ball players to start the season with, as far as talent goes.
I think it will be somewhat difficult off the top for both of these teams to get going. Both clubs may experience a bit of a letdown early. Golden State, with that tremendous comeback on Wednesday night, may have some difficulty getting psyched off the top. And, of course, the Washington Bullets eliminated Boston, and now it has come down just a bit for them. The coaching matchups, I think, is so interesting. Two black coaches, K.C. Jones of Washington, Al Atlas of Golden State. For the first time in a major sporting event in the United States, we have two black men at the helm. Not much being made of it. That's progress. There are the starting lineups. Washington on the left-hand side, Golden State on the right-hand side. The referees for this afternoon's first game of this championship series. On the left, Joe Gashu. On the right-hand side is Earl Strom. And the alternate who will be sitting over the official timer will be Bob Rakel. And we're about to get underway. I talked about the regular season statistics. Washington winning the series 3-1. Now you can see in taking a look at the point differential, they were not outscored that much, very close in field goal percentage. Oscar, how did Washington dominate it so much?
I think you look at the last line, Rich, look at turnovers. I think that's the key right there. I think the Washington team is a very good, strong team, experienced, and they took advantage of Golden State's mistakes.
The Golden State Warriors have not won a game on Washington's home court since 1970. They are fighting that jinx. It'll be Ray and Elvin Hayes. Tipped back up, controlled by Golden State. Number 10, Charlie Johnson. He will control it for them. He'll be working with Butch Beard. Ray comes out high. Rick Barry takes the game's first shot.
Uh-oh, watch out. Because Addo said he wanted to get Rick off to a good start. He hit his first shot.
Johnson must keep Porter out of the middle. Kevin gets right past him and penetrates, and we're tied.
But I think we're going to have a great basketball game myself. Not because the two teams scored their first shots, but I just know this is the playoff. A lot of things happen.
Beard is open. Unseld on the switch. We've got our first miss. Evan Porter underneath Elvin Hayes. Brings it down in a hurry. He wants to go to the basket. Dishes off to Chenier. And Strom says, hold on. He was shoved as he dealt it off. It is on Charlie Johnson, number 10.
Yeah, that little guy Porter's led him all year. If he can continue to do that, going to that hoop with the ball, will create a lot of things out there.
They come out to Elvin Hayes. Wilkes must handle him, and we have an offensive foul called by Earl Strom. Number 1 on Wes Unseld. He has averaged 16 rebounds a game so far in 13 playoff encounters for the Bullets. A tremendous statistic. Berry comes out. Reardon with him. Berry gets past him and loses the ball.
But you know, although Rick lost that ball in that situation, that was a good move by him. He was into the basket, but he just lost the ball. He lost his handle on it, went out of bounds.
Johnson must battle Porter like he battled Norm Van Leer. Keep him out of the key area. Porter slides in. Unseld open. Not there. Johnson tips it to Cliff Ray, who pulls it down. Here come the Warriors.
You notice Ray's defense that time. He left Unseld completely alone because the little Porter started to penetrate, cut him off.
Johnson with a pull-up jumper.
Hey, that's going to be a problem too, because that little Johnson can really shoot the ball. I don't think Porter can guard him down low.
So the Warriors go up by a field goal. Just underway in game 1. Porter kept away from the key area. Here's Reardon with a pass. Big E, Elvin Hayes against Wilkes. Double team on Beard. Hayes short with a shot. Wilkes with a rebound. Hayes wanted the foul, none called. Beard back in a hurry. Ray is ahead of him, bounce at the key. Not there. Wilkes battling, takes down an offensive rebound. Passes off to Ray, who was fouled from behind. He was pushed by Kevin Porter as he came to the basket.
It's a good thing he pushed him that time because he would have had a good dunk shot then.
So far, 1 foul against each team in the first quarter. Intercepted by Hayes. Beard telegraphed it to Wilkes.
You know, he was one of the leaders in stealing balls this past year, and he showed it right there. He's got great speed. Good actions out there by the Big E.
And that basket allows Washington to tie the score. Berry comes out to move on Reardon. Now comes up. Short. Loose ball. Battle Reardon. Johnson. Johnson's got it to Berry, who saves it across. Great play by Berry, and then they go out of bounds. Rick Berry was almost guilty of a backcourt violation. He kept his feet on the other side of the timeline and flipped it in. Golden State could not take advantage of it. And here comes Kevin Porter on the pass off from Unseld. He calls the play. Chenier will go in low. He's working Beard over. They try to go to Chenier. Intercepted by Ray. Back comes Butch Beard trying to get past Unseld to go to the basket. He was fouled as he got in there.
It was not fast that time. Ray gave the ball to Butch Beard in that situation. I mean, he didn't hesitate one moment. Gave it to him right away, and he's down the court with it.
That is the second foul on Kevin Porter. Very important. They must keep him out of foul trouble. Because Beard was shooting, he'll come to the line.
Yeah, they must keep him out of foul trouble because they can only go to the bench so often, and Jimmy Jones is hurt right now. So he's got to be in this ball game. He's led them all year. They got to have him there.
Butch Beard is one of the better shooters in the NBA, but he's been in just a bit of a slump the last few games. 1 of 2.
Yes, he has been in a slump.
Porter on the right side against Johnson. Johnson cuts him off at the sideline. All over. Very important to keep Kevin out of the middle. Kevin comes down into the right corner now. Let's dish it back to Reardon. Battle underneath. Ray has got the rebound for the Warriors, and here comes Johnson. Casey Jones complaining this round that there was a foul. No whistle. Johnson comes up with a pull-up jumper. In and out, and there was contact underneath.
I notice what Ray's doing to Unseld. He's leaving Unseld wide open. And I'm sure, maybe Washington will get the ball to Unseld. Let him work often. Let him be a passer out there because he's done so well with passing all year long. But Ray is really going right to the board. He's not even worried about Unseld at all.
Loose ball foul was against Clifford Ray, his first. Johnson has Porter out high, and he was traveling. Johnson doing a fine defensive job up the top. Porter starting to lose his temper. They've got to keep him calmed down. They do not have Jimmy Jones out because of a knee operation.
There was some good pressure that time by Golden State. Ray got up on Unseld and let him catch the ball, and Porter traveled.
Now Wilkes. Chenier backing into him. Back to Butch Beard. Here's Rick Berry. Beard will use the right hand. They come to Wilkes, who filters across the key. Wants the jump shot on Hayes. He got it off, but it won't go in. And there was a foul.
Loose ball foul on Ray.
So Ray has 2 fouls.
That's a match that we didn't get to talk about because I think the Big East can play Wilkes a little better than a lot of forwards. Although he shoots very well with the ball behind his head, Big E can get up there so good.
Porter trying to get over to the Hayes side. They're going to try to go to work on Wilkes. He gets past Johnson. It comes to the shot.
Oh, great shot there.
Washington leading by a single point. 8:21 in the first quarter. Ray on the right side. There was another offense called.
Yeah, that time that play was designed to get Rick open, and Reardon played it very well. He got in the way and let the cutter pick him off. Got a charging foul out of it.
And it was against Butch Beard, his first of the game. And Johnson all over Kevin Porter. Chenier breaks open, couldn't get the shot. Here's Reardon to Unseld, pass back out of bounds.
Oh, Good try. Good look by West End. I don't think Reardon expected that ball then, but he was wide open.
Warriors trail by a point as they bring it down to the Rick Barry side. Reardon keeping the right hand on him. They dish it off to Beard. Uses Ray. Comes around the pick. They go to Johnson on the weave. Pull-up jumper. Not there, and Unseld hits the boards. Outlet pass Reardon.
Look at Hayes. Oh, he missed
Hayes
it.
on the right side. Reardon takes a shot. It is short, and Wilkes hits the boards. Looked up court, but Unseld was back on defense, and it's Beard with the ball for the Warriors.
Yeah, the Big E was open that time, but he didn't see him.
Wilkes puts a move on, and he was hooked.
But that's where Wilkes can use his speed against the Big E. Take him outside, fake the jump shot, and try to drive. But if he just stands there and tries to pivot, I think the Big E is going to play better defense against it.
So when he hooked Wilkes, that was his first foul. 3 against Golden State, 2 against Washington on the team side. Wilkes maneuvers, comes across right. Unseld on the switch against him, in and out. So Wilkes is not putting the ball in the hole as effortlessly as he did against Chicago Wednesday. Porter back on the Hayes side. Up in the
What a shot that time. That was a great play that time. Look at this play. Look at this timing. Oh, he's up so. Doc, great shot.
A 3-point Washington lead. Wilkes 0 for 3. Beard holds the ball. It goes to Barry. They got to switch off. He's got Porter if he can back him in. He's trying to. Turn around on Kevin. In and out. Taken away by Hayes. Chenier dishes Reardon to the hook. Passes back outside. Porter on the maneuver. Intercepted Golden State as he tried to come to Hayes again. Beard right straight down the middle. Pull-up jump shot.
Good shot that time. I think Porter should have kept his feet. He jumped in there that time. He lost eyesight with his players, and they stole the ball from him. Got to stay down. Stay on the floor.
There is Porter in the right corner. Heels back to Reardon and fires another one. Beard brings it down. Golden State slowing the tempo just a bit here. Porter giving Johnson lots of room. They dish off to Wilkes. 0 for 4. Hayes with the rebound. He's got an outlet blocked away. Unseld has it here. Chenier wheels to Porter against Barry. And Porter says, let's slow it down and set something up. It is Reardon. Wilkes rebounds on the other side. A 3-point Washington lead. Pass. Unseld up to Porter. Wilkes is back. Here comes Unseld on the join. Beard is there with him. Here's Porter, who's all alone. His 5-point Chenier on the steal. Back to Reardon, but hold on. Strom has stopped the clock. He had a timeout called by Al Annals before the interception of Phil Chenier. That's what that's all about. So the interception does not count. No foul down at the other end of the court. Earl Strom had stopped the clock because Al Annals had signaled we've got to have a timeout.
It's a good thing he stopped it because Chenier was right on the ball. Good hands, I tell you. Washington's really taking charge of this ball game so early.
All right, let's go.
Al Annals talking to his Golden State Warriors. His team 3 of 12 so far from the field. The Washington Bullets 6 of 11. Annals wants to try a backdoor play right here, Oscar. He wants 3 down and 2 out. He thinks it's open.
No, this is true. I think the Bullets a little too tough underneath the basket right now, and they got to get something going. They got to come down and get some play, get some kind of offensive game established for them, right? And look at this pressure.
Ray comes back to help out and then brings it across the timeline. Ushered by Washington with a 5-point lead and 5:41 to go in the first. Johnson with the basketball as they try to set the back door. Holds on. Porter comes out. They go to Butch Beard. They're not far away from there. It is the pass to Johnson. It was there.
Great play that time. It was set up good. They got it set up in the huddle and executed it. 2 points.
Here is Hayes. It's a 3-point game right now. Chenier bounces back out. Now turn around. Elvin Hayes on Wilkes. And it goes back to 5 as Johnson gives back to Butch Beard. And Butch brings it up.
They get up maybe 7, 8 points. You can look for Coach Adams and make some changes.
Johnson waits. Barry tried to put a move on Reardon. Here's Beard. Now they go to Barry quickly to Johnson again.
Little
Good
CJ.
ball movement.
That little guy can really shoot it, can he?
3, and here they come. Hayes against Wilkes. Porter was open, blocked away. Goaltending.
Wow. You look at that one again. I think that was a good block.
gets it back. It's a 5-point game. Warriors trailing the Bullets. Porter has Johnson. They come to Wilkes. Elvin Hayes is watching him. Now they go to Rick Barry. Barry inside to Cliff Ray, who misses, and Reardon on the other side with a rebound for the Bullets. Up court quickly to Kevin Porter. Washington getting the ball up in a hurry. There's a foul call as he came up with the shot.
Charles Johnson. That's his second personal.
His second personal against Johnson.
I'll tell you, so far, Porter's really doing a great job. He's getting down the court. He's making a move.
They'll have 2 shots. Neither team yet in the penalty.
And we're going to see Bill Bridges in just a moment. Bring him in.
You hear them say, bring him in, and here comes Bridges and Bill Brooks go out. So they're going to use Bridges' muscle against Elvin Hayes to see what can happen in this situation. Wilkes was cold off the top of this ball game. Now he has Hayes going to work on him at the other end, so they will try Bridges. Bridges was extremely successful against Bob Love in the Western Conference Final.
Yes, he was. You know, Bridges is the 4th all-time rebound in playoff history, you know, so I can see why Coach Adams didn't hesitate to get him in here.
He has the basketball. He's number 32. Came out of retirement at midseason to play with the Warriors. There's Beard posting Porter back to Johnson. Ray hits the offensive board for the Warriors. Reardon trying to stay with Barry. Rick shoots it outside, not there. Hayes taps it. Ray takes it away from Unseld. Beard comes up firing. West has it. Outlet passes Porter, who was at the corner ready to go. Dishes to Rick. Barry is there. They come back outside. Unseld took a bit of a break. Now it's Chenier from the corner. Pulled down by Clifford Ray. Takes it dribbling and gives it off to Charles Johnson. A 6-point Washington lead. Johnson up firing. In and out. Ray's second offensive board here in just a matter of seconds. Barry holds it outside. Reardon watches him. Kicked away by Unseld. It'll go to the Warriors.
Yeah, it seems to me, you know, Washington's defense is very good so far. I think Golden State's got to establish their offense. They got to get into some patterns.
They're going to try Jeff Mullins. Al Attles sat him down next to him, and he'll be sending him in the game. Here's Barry on the roll back, but Unseld was ready and deflected it. Hayes out. Here's Barry. Another turnover. No foul call. Barry outside.
Good shot. The Big E thought he was fouled that time.
4-point Washington lead. Chenier waits. Unseld comes, sets up the high post, and here's Porter.
Watch Bridges on the Big E now. We'll see something really going on.
Chenier maneuvers. There was a foul call.
Yeah, I guess Adams feels this is one way to handle his Big E with Bridges right here.
So it will be Bill Bridges' muscle against Elvin Hayes for a while. That foul against Butch Beard, his second of the game. 2:55 to go in the first quarter. Washington leading by 4 points. Porter and Hayes have 15 of the 17 Washington points so far. Al Attles has told his Warriors that because they are missing outside, to tighten up and try to take better percentage shots. Look for some screens for Rick Barry and a little closer from Bridges.
Yeah, they got to attack Porter on the defense, Brent, also because they aren't scoring that well from the outside, so they got to go over with somebody. I think they're going to post the guard down to see if Porter can play the defense underneath.
Bill Chenier at the free throw line.
1-1, 2 shots.
Chenier, a teammate of Charles Johnson's at California. They worked in the backcourt for the Golden Bears for 1 year. Butch Beard and Wesley Unseld, teammates for 2 years at Louisville. Some close friends competing against each other for big money. They trap against Beard. He gets it back to Bridges. It may be lost. It is Chenier. Chenier whips the Porter. Press work. And that lead quickly has grown, 21-13.
I think they took him by surprise with that press, man, but it was effective because they got the ball.
Bridges goes to Barry. The Washington defense keeping the Warriors out away from the basket. Here is Barry. He is still outside and still missing. Chenier pulls it back. Now he'll pass to Hayes on the run. Beautiful play like a quarterback to a wide receiver.
You know, a lot of people said the Big E couldn't play in the big games, but hey, that just sounds great. That guy can play.
It is suddenly a 10-point lead. How explosive as Mullins comes to the board. Now it is 8. Strom stops the clock. The ball rolls away.
You can watch this play. Mullins goes in, but watch the action after the ball's scored.
Unseld, the safety man against the clutch, brings it up across the timeline as we move inside of 2 minutes for the quarter. 23-15. Bullets in command. Hayes with the ball against Bridges. Turnaround. Hayes with an offensive rebound. Got inside Bridges. Now it is Ray coming out with it.
Oh, Cliff is really mean today on those boards.
Butch Beard on the left side. Reardon pushing Berry back outside. Up all over him. Keeping Berry outside the perimeter. Beard over to Mullins, who's outside. They are away from the basket. It is a Washington defense. There was a foul. And it was on Butch Beard in the backcourt, I believe. Which means they will come to the line.
Yeah, that's true. I think Mullins shot an air ball then, didn't he? Didn't hit anything at all. This young man in the game now, Al really loves Bill Smith.
Casey Jones signaling something to his Washington Bullets. One of the calmer coaches in the NBA, a man who has done a tremendous job and who played on 8 championship teams for the Boston Celtics. Snapped the Celtics' reign at 1 year and trying to win it now at Washington. Unseld, who was fouled in the backcourt, misses his first free throw. The tower of strength.
What a tower he is.
Bridges to Mullins. Washington keeps up the pressure. Here is Phil Smith, who came in for Butch Beard. Beard is on the sideline with 3 fouls. They go to Rick Barry, and look at Reardon, keep him outside. Chenier knocks the ball out of bounds. Belongs to Golden State. 1:20 for the quarter. 24-15 the score. Washington in command of this, the game 1 of the NBA championship. Smith holds it up. He is a rookie. Comes around the Bridges pick. Tries to turn the corner on Hayes. Shot won't go. Knocked back Mullins. Mullins to Berry. Berry is inside Reardon. Off the front of the rim. Down comes Kevin Porter. He'll move it for Washington. Comes up on the left side. Hayes, who has been hustling all game long, is set up. Look at him muscle against Bridges. Push and shove. And hold on, says Strom. That is enough of that. He has got the first foul against Bridges.
Well, he's got to do that. The Big E is too tough right now for them. So they got Wilkes out of the game to bring in Bridges with a little more strength, and maybe it'll work and maybe it won't.
1-1, 2 shots.
Washington not yet in the penalty. Golden State has been in it for 2 fouls.
Hey, Golden State has come back all year from Leeds, Brent, so we'll see. They're down now.
Bridges inbounds to Mullins. It goes quickly to Smith. Smith and Mullins, who played such key roles Wednesday night when the Warriors came from 14 points behind to eliminate Chicago. Smith dribbles it off, goes to Bridges. Mullins comes in behind him. This is a tremendous defensive performance by Washington. They are keeping him outside the perimeter. They can't. Now they get in, but Ray can hold on. Turn around. Hayes was there. It's over. Air ball. Unseld on the rebound. Outlet pass. Washington playing superb basketball.
Hey, the little guy's done it.
Kevin Porter waits for Smith. Smith gets past him. Stops. Held up. They're still not getting to the basket for easy shots. Berry from the left corner.
Yeah. Hey, that little guy's doing it today.
10-point Washington lead. Last 9 seconds of the quarter. They'll play it for 1. It'll be 5-on-5. Unseld joins them. Looks up. They got 3 seconds. They must hurry. He wants Hayes. He's going to take it. That's it. Into the first quarter.
Hey, I think that's a good quarter, Brent. Washington's playing some good basketball. They're setting the stage so far. I think Golden State's got to get the offense going.
I can remember a few weeks ago when Washington started its series against Boston, and Washington looked so bad in the first half. They had come off that Buffalo series. But they came around at halftime. Golden State now faces that challenge here. Al Ano's first defensive problem, what to do with Kevin Porter. He is 6 of 6 from the field as Washington has built up a 10-point lead. Nick Weatherspoon has checked in. You can hear the crowd saying, Spoon, Bridges and Porter almost going at it. Bridges finally elbowed him. Now he runs into him. Contact all over. George Johnson is in the game. It is Bridges outside, missing. They lose control, and Smith has it for the Warriors. Comes to the basket on the turnaround.
He
got it, and he was fouled.
Well, they got George Johnson into the game now. Watch Bill here. He really gets up good, high on the board, and gets it in over the Big E.
And for Hayes, his second foul. So Porter and Bridges Bridges elbowing each other as they started the second quarter. He does not complete the three-point play, and Wesley Unseld sweeps the boards. There's the field goal percentage. What a difference.
Yes, it sure is.
55-29. Bridges on Hayes. Hayes out far from the basket. Spoon, who had a tremendous performance against the Celtics. It is Unseld who gets it in.
We know in the two key games for Golden State, George Johnson was inserted into the ball game, really made a difference.
Smith is getting into the basket. Bridges muscling in, and hold on, he was traveling.
That was a great pass that time by Smith, but I think Bridges moved his feet underneath. He shuffled a little too much.
Smith has speed, and he has an extremely long stride. You'll watch him accelerate as he makes that move to the basket. He is an outstanding rookie guard for Al Adams. Elvin Hayes gives to Chenier, who comes to the left baseline, firing. He will shoot twice as Mullins got it.
They pushed him on the leg that time.
Kevin Porter was over checking with K.C. Jones.
Coach Adams was talking about George Johnson before the game. He feels that, in time, and I feel the same way. When he learns the game, he's going to really be a great influence on the court. Not for his scoring, but as for his defense, blocking shots, and rebounding.
Chenier took only one shot in the first quarter, so indications are now that he will shoot more for K.C. Jones this time out. He is a fine shooter when he's on. Bridges holds up, and here is Smith. Seems to be controlling the Golden State offense right now. Hayes is watching Rick Barry. Outside comes Barry.
Yeah, Big E's got to get his hand up a little closer. But see, I think the Big E is going to give a little more room than Mike Riordan does, which could be bad for the Big E.
Spoon holds it up, and Barry will take a look at him. Witherspoon has not shot. Porter muscle out of bounds. Now Spoon in and out, and three blue shirts at the boards. No contest. George Johnson gives it off. Smith brings it up. There's that quickness in a hurry. He's at the left corner. This time he was cut down, maybe dribbling too much, trying to post Porter, and there was a foul. He was bumped. And against Kevin Porter, that is his third.
This is what they should do in this situation, and already now they're going to make a change here. Haskins going to come into the ball game for Porter. They should do this. They against a team, they got to exploit the team's weakness. And a 6'4" guard, posting Porter is, I think, a good play to use.
Haskins comes in, and Adels will answer that with Charles Johnson in a hurry. Barry turn around against Spoon. Not there.
He had no chance to get in that ball. That was a bad shot by Rick then.
Chenier from the left side. Smith watching him. Chenier tries to get to the key. He is cut off. Now he comes the other way. George Johnson.
There's George Johnson.
He blocked 5 shots in the Western Final against Chicago. He's at it again. Smith back wheels to Jeff Mullins. Mullins tries to penetrate. Chenier intercepts. Down he comes with Witherspoon on the right. Barry goes to the ball. Out of bounds.
Well, he got out there. The ball just scooted right by his hand. Hey, this team is really getting up and down the court, Brent. Watching is moving.
Barry is 4 of 10 from the field in the first half. He has the ball. Spoon watching him. Barry tries to get in. Spoon cuts him off. Now he comes back the other way, and there was a foul. Earl Strom
Number 12.
picked it up against Witherspoon.
Witherspoon plays pretty good defense over there, Barry tried to go backdoor baseline, that is. Just didn't work.
Well, here comes Tiny. He was in an automobile accident last week. Fell out of a car and injured his chest. I'm glad to see that he looks all right. They weren't so sure. They're going to take Tiny with us out to San Francisco. The individual scoring so far looks like this. Barry leading Golden State with 8 points, but he has missed a lot of shots in the first half. As for Washington, their scoring so far shows little Kevin Porter leading them with 13 points. Oscar Golden State owner Franklin Muley is here, but he should be in a birthday party in San Jose today. His father, 91 years old. Franklin will probably live till he's 115. Bill Smith with the ball for Muley's Warriors. He comes to the right side. Chenier with him. They go to Mullins. Haskins with a hand on him. Mullins turns the corner, tries to penetrate, rolls it up on the right-hand hook.
They're going to have to do something to get those big guys from Washington out from the basket. Maybe they got to get the guards down low or something. But that time, they got a pick from Mullins and went to the basket with him.
Witherspoon pops out high. Barry is there. The pass to Haskins. Jeff Mullins has him. Johnson is watching Unseld. They come to Witherspoon. They come over to Unseld. Shot clock down toward 5 seconds. They come to the basket. There is a foul, and the basket counts. Big E with a chance for a three-point play. He was fouled by George Johnson.
George did a good job. It was this man. Bridges missed the pass in. The Big E got it. Went and put it right into the basket.
So Al Attles has had to go to his muscle early in this game. Bridges and George Johnson on the floor. They lose some finesse with Keith Wilkes, who is getting ready to check back in. He can be a tremendous shooter, as he was Wednesday night when he kept the Warriors in the game until the rest of the team came alive in the fourth quarter. Here's Smith right side. Comes back, tries to put a move on Chenier, who stays right. William Smith up with a jump shot. Good defense by Chenier. Battles. Now it is Smith back with the ball. How long? Shot clock is recycled, and Phil just moves inside with a fine move.
He's a fine player. He's going to be tough in time. You got to learn players, learn situations on the court.
Charles Johnson also coming back in for Al Attles. He continues to work his bench as he did against Chicago. Right side, Unseld jumper.
Well, I'll tell you, there's not much you can do about a situation like that. West is a pretty good shot outside, but he's reluctant to shoot at times, but he wasn't then.
Here's Berry coming over to the left side. Spoon following Berry, who goes inside, and Mullins comes in. Jeff Mullins warming up for the Warriors.
Yeah, you see, so far, when they start to penetrate to the basket, they've gotten some action out of situations. They've been successful. They stand around shooting those jump shots. They haven't done so well.
Bridges switches off of Hayes. That leaves Phil Smith, and Hayes wants it, and there is a whistle. There was a push underneath. So it's on Phil Smith, who had to switch off, and he held his man up.
You know what Smith's meant to do in those situations like that? He's got to get around in front. The Biggie is just too tough for any guard to switch off on him. So he's got to get around in front of him.
9-point Washington lead. Unseld open outside. Not there. And Wilkes, who is checked back in, comes off to Bridges. He'll play at forward with Bridges. Rick Berry is out right now. Smith and Mullins the guards. George Johnson the center for Golden State. Haskins and Chenier in the backcourt for Washington. Spoon and Hayes the forward. Smith goes back to Johnson to the basket.
Hey, good move that time by George. Went in that good.
Witherspoon on the break. Wilkes was right there. Spoon straight up.
He has really matured as a ball player, Brent.
Golden State trying to put a run together. Trailing by 9 points. They fell back by 10 in the first, and they have not been able to reduce the margin. There's a whistle underneath. It'll be a turnover coming the other way. It was an offensive foul. And it was against Wilkes, his first. Chenier has gone all the way for Washington. So has Hayes, and so has Unseld. Chenier goes to Haskins. Haskins giving Porter a breather. Not there. Unseld pulls down the deflection. Waits to Chenier, who drives to the basket, and there was a foul as he came in.
I think that foul goes Smith that time. That was a great move by Chenier. And West did his job.
Hits him. 2 shots.
He got the ball right over to him.
And for Phil Smith, that is his second foul. We've got a timeout at the Capitol Center in Landover, with 6:48 to go for the half. Washington leading Golden State 38-29, and they are in command. A reminder, games 2 and 3 of this series will come to you from San Francisco on Tuesday and Friday night. Those are the Eastern times. And I'm right when I say San Francisco. Golden State will have to play its games in the Cow Palace. Oscar, one of the most interesting stats of all about the Warriors is the fact that the Oakland Coliseum Arena will be used for an ice show, which shows you just how little confidence anybody had in this basketball team when the NBA season began. No one expected them to be playing for the championship. And I was interested in your comment, even though Washington leads 38-29, just as they did against Chicago, the Warriors are staying close, waiting to put that string together. They're an interesting basketball team.
Yeah, this is true, but we must remember that Washington is a little better team than I think than Chicago. I think they got more material in. But I said Golden State hangs in there. They stay close, and I tell you, right now Rick is on the bench. Give him some rest. They did it against Chicago out on the West Coast. He came back and made about 6 straight.
Johnson and Mullins are the guards for Al Attles right now. Haskins and Chenier oppose them. Spoon was on Wilkes and knocked it out of bounds.
Well, so they're getting a lot of pressure. See, the pressure comes from the guards, not to let him get a direct pass in. Very good.
Al Attles still looking for those easy shots. Johnson maneuvering left baseline. Turnaround on Chenier, who was on him that time. And he was fouling him.
Now, Johnson has to be careful in that situation because I think Chenier's a very good defensive player. Although he fouled him, he still blocked the shot. He can't take Chenier down that corner there where he wants to shoot from. I think he's got to do it outside.
Rick Barry has checked back in. 6:25 to go for the half. 4 fouls against the Warriors as they will move into the penalty. Already 4 against Washington as they await it. Charles Johnson, CJ on the line.
He's shooting 80% from the line, but he missed that first one. You know, people talk a lot about playoff pressure and whatnot. You know, I tell you, if you play ball, you don't worry about things like that. You may be a little nervous before the game starts, but once you make that first contact, that's it.
Haskins waits for Spoon. Barry is on him. All over him, I might add. Spoon tries to put a move on, and Gideon comes up, and there was a foul.
Yeah, they call that foul on Johnson then. There he goes.
And it's a penalty situation.
We're in the penalty, so Weatherspoon will have 3 shots to make 2. He was a devastating performer against the Boston Celtics.
And he's played very well this afternoon. He's a guy. He's a good guy. He's a good player. I heard at one time they were thinking about trading him.
Buffalo would have loved to have acquired him after that injury to Garfield Hurd earlier this year. I don't think there was much chance that Washington was going to trade him off to Buffalo. Here is Johnson. Coming to the left, Unseld on the switch. Jumper by Charlie. In and out. Johnson tries to have it back in, but I believe it was Keith Wilkes who got a hand on it.
A lot of turret action underneath that basket, but Keith stayed with it, tipped it right in.
10-point Washington lead. 5:45. Chenier to Haskins. Haskins coming back to Chenier, who is outside and hits it. Butch Beard prepares to check back in for the Warriors. Mullins holds up 3 fingers, signals the play, and this is Keith Wilkes, who had just made his first field goal. Barry coming to the left side on the drive, comes up with the shot, but he was fouled as he came in. So Witherspoon has picked up 2 fouls.
Watch this tip in this time by Wilkes. There it goes right there. You know, at this time when Rick went to the basket, shot the ball and drew this foul against Witherspoon. I think Witherspoon's got to, when he goes up with those shots underneath, just let him go. But I know at Milwaukee, whenever he drove against us, against Bobby Dandridge, when he went up to throw the ball underneath, Kareem would be there to block the shot.
So that effortless underhanded motion puts 2 points on the board for the Warriors. They trail it by 10. 44-34, 5:20 for the half. Haskins works against Johnson. Porter is on the bench with 3 fouls. Turned in a tremendous offensive performance early. Chenier with a pass. Haskins there, backdoor work.
Yeah, that's the one that set up in the huddle. They wanted it before, but they couldn't get it set up right, but they got it that time.
Beard with control. Haskins on him. They'll go to George Johnson. Johnson waits for Charles Johnson. CJ.
He doesn't disappoint him. G. Johnson to C. Johnson.
Chenier gets past Johnson. Quickly to Unseld. Ball stolen. Here comes Charles Johnson with control for the Warriors. The Wilkes for the basket.
Good run. That Wilkes really got out there and filled that lane up then.
So it's an 8-point game.
I think Beard tried to get an offensive charge that time on Chenier, but just wasn't to be.
Here to Unseld. They drop it off to Elvin Hayes, who's been quiet the last couple of minutes. He comes up. Out, and Witherspoon has it blocked by George Johnson. Johnson's second block.
Hey, what a move Johnson put on.
And CJ. Not there this time. Witherspoon has the rebound. Washington's total team movement is not there when Kevin Porter is on the bench. He makes a tremendous difference in that team when they bring the ball up. Haskins more of a pattern player. Has it now outside. And Keith Wilkes brings it down, and here is Butch Beard to look quickly, but no one was open. Bounce pass off of Wilkes' hands. It could have been a good pass. I'm not sure that Keith was anticipating it.
No, he didn't say it. We're going to see this block right here. Spoon gets this ball, and this young man who blocked this shot here is going to be heard of in the next few years.
Washington on the attack with their 8-point lead. George Johnson all over Wesley Unseld out at the top of the circle. Hayes turnaround, Wilkes waits, Hayes shot not there. Hayes for the rebound, Hayes back up.
Yeah. See that little hesitation that Big E gave, the little head fake to Johnson, froze him in his tracks, he couldn't jump. The Then he goes up and puts it in.
Clifford Ray will be checking back in for Al Adams. Brooks holds it up. Sets the play, comes up with a jump shot, a little off balance that time, and he hits the board, and throws one up for grabs, and Hayes pulls it down.
Yeah.
Outlet to Haskins on the right side, slowing it down inside of 3 minutes. First half, Chenier sets it up as he comes over to the left side. It's past Beard for the right move as Ansel rolls, and Johnson is called goaltending.
Yeah, that was goaltending that time. He pinned it against the board. This is a great pass by Phil. Also puts it up. But George Johnson was there.
A 12-point Washington advantage. 2:43 for the half. George Johnson goes backdoor Rick Barry. Not there. Elvin Hayes pulls it down, and up comes Chenier. Chenier has been a fine passer in the first half. Spoon is off to Haskins. Shoots deep left side. Perhaps too deep. CJ will pick it up, but again there are those white jerseys waiting on defense. Here's Beard. Knocked away by Elvin. Beard wanted goaltending. No call. Wilkes misses.
Wilkes is really doing this game, I tell you. He's got wide open shot. He's just not putting it in, Brent.
So it is Clem Haskins on the turnaround.
Hey, the ball was back 14 seconds.
Chenier.
The referees missed it.
They didn't get it across in the 10-second time limit. That's
sure
what
didn't.
Butch Beard was complaining about. Now
He's
Beard
right.
says something to Strom.
He's right. They missed it.
Beard with the ball. Haskins on him. 1:45 for the half, and here's Beard to Wilkes. Again, he's wide open. And again, he misses.
No, he didn't. No, I must say this. Although the referees missed that call, there's no reason to stop playing. You're in a championship game. You got to play ball. You can't argue with the referee while your man goes in and scores. And that's just what happened. Beard is back here talking to the referee. This man goes in and scores.
19,000 on hand, and they're enjoying the performance of the Bullets here in Landover so far.
We're selling...
There are times when even a missed call can ignite a team. While you're away, Al Adams was still arguing with Strom and Gashu because they made a mistake, an honest one. The team did not get the ball across that timeline. The 10-second limit. Tiny came out, put on a show for the fans while you're away also.
Yes, he did. But listen, even though a ref misses a call like that, you know, you got to keep on playing ball. You can't stop. You know, this is the best 4 out of 7.
A 14-point lead for Washington. Weatherspoon gives to Chenier, who goes to Mike Reardon, who's back in the game. His right thigh heavily bandaged. He injured it against the Celtics. Knocked out of bounds by Rick Barry. Washington has control. The shot clock will recycle to 10 seconds.
And Mike's out at guard now, Brandon, in the game. He came in for Haskins during that timeout.
Here is Weatherspoon maneuvering out Ansel.
Well, I'll tell you, Washington is tough.
Rick Barry with control. Waits, they like the backdoor play. They wanted to work it against Haskins, but he's out of the game. And they have turned it over.
They're taking,
offensive foul.
Yeah, they're taking too much time. Rick stands out there with the ball. You know, they got to get it going right now. They don't know what's going on. When he holds the ball, if he should be driving to the basket or taking a shot, and the other players are standing around, you don't know, have anywhere to go. You got to make him move right away.
Butch Beard is in foul trouble again. He experienced this several times in that Chicago series. He has 4 fouls against him. He has gone to the bench, so the rookie must pick up the burden. Phil Smith is in. Reardon is working at guard for the Bullets. Smith will take him. Hayes waits. Now he pops. Off the front of the rim, Clifford Ray yanks it down, and here comes Charles Johnson.
And time is running out for this first half.
At some of these matchups, Reardon taking CJ. Chenier has Smith. Barry shoots against Weatherspoon, in and out. Offensive board, Wilkes, but no basket. He was traveling, and the Rookie of the Year is having a tough afternoon so far.
Yes, he is. Things just are not going good for him right now.
He must play his way out of it, just as Rick Barry did on Wednesday night against Chicago. Chenier over on the right side. Charles Johnson tries to cut him off. Chenier moves in. Now he'll come back. Extremely quick.
Yeah.
He traveled,
well,
and it is a turnover. Weatherspoon was called for traveling several times in that Boston series.
They got 22 seconds to go right now. I'm sure they'll go down and get 1 shot, so Washington can't get another. They'll work the clock this time.
Clock on the right-hand side of your screen. You can watch them use it. They trail 54-38. They would like to go in with a basket. it will be a different Golden State team in the second half. They have been lethargic. They have not played well here in the first 24 minutes. Johnson shot in.
He gets it in, but I tell you,
At the buzzer.
in a situation like that, they're struggling to get baskets, Trent, and this is bad. When you do that, it means the defense is really doing its job, and Washington's defense has been super. This is why they have a lead, a 14-point lead right now.
Joe Roberts, who is the assistant to Al Anos, heads in toward the Golden State locker room. Warrior players following alongside of him. Game 1 of the NBA Championship Series, they find themselves in trouble off the top, trailing by 14 points. Early, they couldn't handle Kevin Porter. Later, they couldn't get any shots. The Washington Bullets will go into their locker room. K.C. Jones and Bernie Bickerstaff will hold court in there. They will tell their team, don't get overconfident. The Warriors have been coming back all year.
You'll see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS.
Look around this beautiful new arena in Landover, Maryland. 19,000 on hand for Game 1 of the championship round. NBA attendance up 14% this year, but it certainly was not all that way. Began back in 1946. Eddie Gottlieb coached the Philadelphia Warriors to the championship that year. His leading scorer was Joe Fulks. Fulks won the scoring title. He was the only player in the NBA to average more than 20 points a game. Today, we've got speed, action, scoring. Those are three of the ingredients that make the NBA basketball the great sport that it is. But they were not always part of that game, as you'll see when you play it again with Jack Whitaker.
To see how far professional basketball has come, let's study the cream of the college crop in 1936, when college grads graduated to the amateur leagues and passed the ball around for a few years, or so it seemed. You're watching highlights of the Olympic final at Madison Square Garden back in 1936. The best of these boys went on to defeat Canada for the Olympic gold medal by a score of 19-8 as they passed the ball around and around. That's right, 19-8. They didn't shoot all that well either. Well, you get the idea. Some of the reasons why professional basketball failed to flourish nationwide until after World War II. The game needed speed, good shooting, and scoring, all of which came together in 1946. According to the Knickerbocker scrapbook, when the New York Knicks met the Toronto Huskies in the first game ever played in today's NBA. The game was played at Toronto, and the Knicks were led by Leo Gottlieb, Ossie Scheckman, Tommy Burns, Stan Stutz, Sid Hertzberg, Jake Weber, Bob Mullins, and Nat Militzok, to name a few. Number 20, Coach Ed Sadowski of Toronto, jumped against Jake Weber, and the Knicks then put on a fancy display of ball handling, ending with a set shot by Leo Gottlieb, who scored 8 in the first half and 14 for the game to lead the Knicks. Sadowski led Toronto with 18. Here's a foul against the Toronto Huskies, which gives referee Pat Kennedy, number 17, a chance to show his stuff. Let's play it again. Pat became the first celebrity referee in basketball. Mike McCarron hit the foul for Toronto to keep things close. The Huskies' accurate set shots forced the Knicks to keep fighting back as soon as they could get the ball back out of those long, old-fashioned nets. New York's Dick Murphy scored the final basket in their 68-66 victory, and a new league was born. That first year, the program covers read Knicks versus Washington Capitals, St. Louis Bombers, Providence Steamrollers, Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia Warriors, who won the championship, Cleveland Rebels, Detroit Falcons, Pittsburgh Ironmen, and the Chicago Stags. The birth of the NBA. How nice to play it again.
Sonny Hill, all I can tell the folks out in San Francisco is Get the abalone and the white wine ready. Sonny Hill is on his way for games 2 and 3. That's your city out there.
Well, I'll look forward to it. See if we can have a little fun when we get out there.
Well, I tell you, those expense accounts should be something by the time we get finished.
Don't let
after
anybody
1
in
week.
on that, Brent. Don't let them know that we have that kind of thing going for us.
Al, listen, what about this first half here? So far, of course, Washington been in total command. What are some of your thoughts?
Let's use a couple of key words, momentum and tempo. The momentum definitely has been with the Washington Bullets. The tempo has been with the Washington Bullets. The other thing that you look at if you're the Golden State Warriors is the fact that you've had neither in the ball game, and the fact is you've got to have that at some times in any contest. Let's go back again to Wednesday against the Chicago Bulls when the first half they were not with either one of these, the momentum or tempo, but it came on in the second half.
So in other words, you think it might come on for them here again?
Oh, at some times, the good ball club will extract the most out of the momentum and tempo when they have it, so that they have a cushion. When the other team makes an inroad into it, they have enough to keep them from making that a losing game for them.
You know, Sonny, I get the feeling that the NBA is mental attitude, and I somehow feel that there is a tremendous letdown for the Warriors in this game. You were there for the celebration on Wednesday night of the champagne and how happy all the players were. And I just think it's awfully difficult to come right back here on a Sunday afternoon and suddenly realize you're in a championship series. I think maybe they'll yank themselves around at halftime or maybe even in games 2 or 3 out there.
I agree with you. I talked with Bernie Bickerstaff about this before the game because they had beaten the Boston Celtics. You beat a tradition. You beat a legend. He said that he talked with each one of his ball players, he and K.C. Jones, so that they wouldn't have it. And I was inspired by looking at them and seeing that they were not having what you just talked about, that kind of a letdown.
We see that some of the players are filing back onto the court, Washington Bullets, and we can take a look at some of the highlights that you selected from the first half of action, Sonny. You can narrate these for us, point out some of the key things that went on in the first 24 minutes of play.
The Bullets were able to get off early in the ball game, and Elvin Hayes is most important for him to get off, and here you see the beautiful slam dunk off a pass from Kevin Porter. The Golden State Warriors were able to stay in the ball game because Charlie Johnson, CJ, was having a fairly good game outside. The fast break of the Bullets is led by Wes Unsell's passing, and this time it's Kevin Porter penetrating to the basket, and Kevin had a magnificent first half. Jeff Mullins, one of the players who will have to come off the bench and contribute, was able to come off and make a contribution as he makes a beautiful half hook going to the basket. The Bullets were able to sit up and establish their offense wherever they wanted to. Clem Haskins receives a beautiful pass from Phil Chenier, and that really was the story of the first half, the fact that they were able to establish and do what they wanted to do.
There are the comparative statistics between the two teams in the first half. Look at that field goal shooting percentage, Sonny. 51% for Washington. You can't let them shoot that much, and look what Golden State hit.
Penetration and getting inside. Washington's been able to have far more easy shots than the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have had what we call a perimeter offense, which means they're shooting outside.
Oh, we can take a look at the individual scoring. CJ, Charles Johnson, the guard, leading the Warriors with 11 points.
Rick Barry is the player who is looked to lead the Golden State Warriors in offense. He's not having a good first half, but Rick Barry is the kind of player who can explode at any time and really put it all together.
Well, they certainly need an explosion in the second half as we check the individual scoring for Washington. Elvin Hayes with 14 points. You know, you really haven't even noticed the Big E that much.
Well, there are reasons for that. One, the Bullets, although they need Elvin as an offensive ball player, they don't primarily look to him. They go to what we term the hot hand sometimes.
Let's go now to Oscar Robertson with K.C. Jones.
Mr. Pugh, so the rest of the guys. Yeah, sitting here talking with K.C. Jones, whose team is enjoying a 14-point lead right now. K.C., you had quite a layoff. Did that hurt your team?
Well, that's one thing I was worried about, and at this point, it hasn't hurt us yet. I was worried about shooting. We might have been off because of such a long layoff. And also, I was worried about the conditioning, but at this point, we seem to be all right in both departments. Just hope it continues the second half.
What about Kevin? He's got 3 or 4 fouls on him right now. When he's in the game for you guys, hey, super break.
Well, they send a lot of people to the boards, and if we can do the job of screening off, then we will have a good break going. And we did get a few fast breaks going, but then we made a couple of boo-boos on the passes. And we want to make sure that whenever we get the break, just make sure that we get a good pass out of it and also get a good shot off it.
All right, now back over to Brent.
All right, Oscar, thank you. I think one thing to keep in mind, Kevin Porter left the game with 3 fouls. He had played tremendously. You would think then that the Golden State Warriors might come back. They did not, and that tells you something about K.C. Jones' bench so far in Game 1 of the championship series.
I remember the day my father started saving for my college education. It was my 10th birthday, and he opened a savings account for $10. Brian, he said, you're going to have it better than me. You're not going to have to stand on your feet all day just to make a buck. You do the studying, and I'll do the saving. He had it all planned. There was only one thing he didn't plan. He didn't plan on dying.
Sometimes the saddest thing about a man's death is to watch his dreams die with him. We at Money Mutual of New York understand how reluctant some people can be to discuss life insurance. But if you have children, you should talk to a Money representative about insuring their future. Because as painful as it might be for your family to go on without you, it would be even more painful for them to go on without anything. Mutual of New York. Money for the future.
Let's go to Oscar, who is now with Al Adams.
Coach, just one quick question. What do you have to do to get back into this ball game?
Well, I think we have to try to maintain our defense, and 54 points, not an awful lot of points to give up. But we've just got to shoot a little better. I think what has happened, we're missing that outside shot, so we have to try to get a couple easy baskets underneath.
Well, I know one thing. You talk about pressure basketball. You seem to be always coming back, Al.
Well, this seems to be the story of our lives, but you can't come back forever. But the fact that we have come back in the past, we know we can come back, but I don't particularly like to be on that side of the board.
Okay. Now back to Brent.
All right, Oscar. Historically, the Bullets have been to the NBA Finals only once, and that was in 1971. They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks in 4 games. That was only the second time in history that a team swept the championship series 4-0. The Warriors have been to the finals 4 times, in 47 and 56 as the Philadelphia Warriors. They beat the Chicago Stags in 47. They beat the Fort Wayne Pistons in 56. In 1964, it was the San Francisco Warriors, losing to the Boston Celtics 4-1. And in 67, the San Francisco Warriors lost to the Philadelphia 76ers 4-2. So Washington in it for the second time. Golden State in it as Golden State for the first time, but in as the Warriors for the 5th time. Trailing by 14 points, we are getting ready to start the second half. Elvin Hayes will jump center as he usually does. Clifford Ray comes out. We have one change. Phil Smith is starting in place of Butch Beard. Beard is on the bench with a foul problem. He picked up 4 in the first half. He'll work with Johnson. We'll see if Keith Wilkes still is in a shooting slump. He has the ball, gives it to Phil Smith, and he comes to Rick Barry. They must move the ball and try to get some easier shots. Barry is all alone, not there. Battle at it is Kevin Porter, who is playing with those 3 personals, bringing it down. Lead pass, Unseld, he was traveling.
That was a good look by the little guy. He makes him run, as KC was saying. That little guy is so tough. Although he has some fouls on him right now, if he can stay away from them, it's going to be tough for Golden State. I noticed in the first half myself, the guards from Washington was really picking up Golden State's guards and making them fight to get inside.
Wilkes thought about it, then thought better, and went to Ray. Shot clock moves down inside of 10. We go to 8. Smith with the ball. Porter has him, but there was a jump ball. Smith thought there was a foul, and so did I. When Strom turned around first, I thought he was going to call a foul, and then the thumbs
I think Porter thought so, too.
Elvin Hayes with the ball. He gives to Kevin Porter. Charles Johnson must keep him out and take his shot away. Reardon against Rick Barry. Here's Kevin Porter. Now it is Elvin Hayes. Inside on Wilkes.
Yeah, Wilkes goes in. And I think in a situation like that, what can Ray do? It might not have gone in, but he's up there anyway. He just gives him the basket. It's on the way down.
It is possible they may have to go to George Johnson and Clifford Ray against Unseld and Elvin Hayes. Wilkes may not have enough muscle. Smith to the left baseline of Rick Barry. Barry on the flow-through. He was fouled as he came to the basket. This is Reardon who got him.
You can watch the situation right here. Chenier Riddle leans into Rick Barry right here with a forearm, but no harm, no foul.
You could put a blindfold on Rick Barry, and he still would hit about 7 or 8 of 10 of these free throws. Says that sight is not the important consideration. It is the feel as he brings his hands under.
Well, I wonder if he feels that same way about shooting field goals because he's not shooting very well. Maybe we should close it, put some blinders on it. Maybe he might shoot better.
Porter with the ball. Waits, and it is Unseld. Quickly to Reardon. Washington not moving the ball as well as they did. It is Porter down, in and out, and Wilkes at the boards.
Now this is what Golden State has to do. They got to get up there, cook the ball, and get it in because.
Wilkes again, and he's back.
Well,
Basket by Keith Wilkes.
and Porter just went down to the canvas. Maybe that'll get Wilkes off the mark because he was shooting very poorly himself.
12-point Washington lead. Washington is not a good pattern basketball team. When you force them into their patterns, they do not play as well as when they're on the move. And here come the Warriors as the pattern fails again.
I think that shot was blocked by Charlie Johnson that time.
Here is Wilkes. Hayes with both hands on it. He comes up, spun it out, and there was contact underneath. To explaining it to Johnson, it was a loose ball foul. So on the side, Washington will put it in play. It was against Charles Johnson.
No action is going on right now, but no foul.
Chenier cut off. Goes to Kevin Porter. Left side. Charles Johnson comes behind him. Tried to take the ball away. Whistle was blown on that side by Joe Gashu, and again another foul on Charles Johnson.
And I think Porter really threw something at Charlie Johnson that time, but he missed.
So CJ picks up back-to-back fouls, giving him 4 for the game. We've got a timeout.
It's true. I think in a situation like that, he's got to keep his head because as much as Washington needs Porter, Golden State needs that little guy in that game because he's the key to controlling the ball, moving it, and getting their break going.
Do you know what the lowest base sticker priced American small car is?
Ford Pinto! And what's America's best-selling...
Next weekend, CBS returns to the Pro Golf Tour for 3rd and 4th round coverage of the Danny Thomas Memphis Golf Classic. Top Flight field of competitors will be vying for $200,000 in prize money next week coming up on CBS. Rick Barry and Keith Wilkes continue to shoot poorly. Barry 4 of 13, Wilkes 3 of 12. Right now, Washington has the basketball. This is Mike Reardon giving it back to Kevin Porter. Charles Dudley, number 15, is checked in. He will try Porter. Wilkes comes out, knocks it away. Barry will control it, and here come the Warriors.
That was a good D that time by Wilkes. He's got to use his speed on the big E and try to front him a little bit because if he stays behind down low, he's going to kill him.
Hayes bumps against Wilkes. Wilkes comes to the baseline move. Unseld was there to cut him off and Ray steps
Hey,
in.
big Ray's on the job that time. And it's back to 10 points.
Dudley picking up Kevin Porter. Down goes Dudley.
No.
And he was fouled by Porter. Offense is the foul, and that is the 4th foul against Kevin Porter.
I don't think he pushed him down, and I think there's a little acting going on myself.
Well, that is a very well-timed act because it means that Kevin Porter will go to the bench and Clem Haskins is back in, although Haskins did the job in the first half. So trailing by 10, Porter goes to the bench again, and Dudley has the basketball, and it is stolen on a bad pass by Chenier. He's got Haskins to the hoop.
Well, he had the basketball.
Here is fouled as he rolled off the shot coming in. Dudley came back, Smith walking over, saying, calm down. Just take it easy. Don't telegraph your passes.
If that was a crucial situation, I do believe. I don't know. It's 10 points still. Well, still 10. You know, some teams it's very difficult to come back against, and I think Washington's one of those teams. When the team runs the way they do. But on the other hand, Golden State's a fast-breaking team.
Trailing by 11. Dudley brings it up. It's across the timeline quickly as Al Attles looks on. They go to Phil Smith. Fakes right, comes left. Here's now to Rick Barry. Reardon is on him. Barry maneuvering, passes off to Wilkes. Unseld jumped out on Terry. He's got him right now. Barry goes to the hoop on West. Not fair. Shot won't go. Haskins up court. Reardon races it. The ball is going to go out of bounds. Reardon is going to argue about it. Reardon doesn't believe it. He's all over Strom. Strom now checking with Joe Gashu, and they have changed their mind.
Well, that's true. I think Smith knocked it out of bounds.
So Earl checked, and they would rather get it right than have a mistake, and the ball goes over to Washington.
Yes, he hit it. He knocked it out.
Bounce pass to Unseld from Haskins. They go to Chenier. Haas got away from him, brings it back in. Now they go into Elvin Hayes. One move on Wilkes, and he's got it. Lead back to 13. Dudley back on the left side. Hayes with 18 points. They give to Berry. Berry puts a move on Reardon and pops outside.
In a situation like that where they feeding the Big E down low like that, if Wilkes doesn't front him, they have got to put pressure on those guards. Make these guards stop right here at half court. But if they can't put the pressure out there, watch Big E's going to kill him underneath.
Chenier goes to Reardon. Reardon didn't like what he saw, so he put it up. And Unseld has an offensive board. He waits for Haskins. Not there. They go cross-court Reardon. Two white shirts at the offensive board. Golden State cannot allow that. They must block out under there.
Yeah, that's true. Those guys are just too tough on the boards. They've been tough all year. They haven't stopped yet.
Dudley has the ball, comes around behind Rick Berry left side. Goes back out to their star who comes up firing.
Rick Berry.
There's Phil Chenier. Smith picking him up in the backcourt. It's not really a full court press. A little attention over there, knocks it out of bounds. Ball goes to Washington, and Derek Dickey, number 40, will check in.
Well, he'll try his hand to see if Biggins out the Big E. But
Keith Wilkes has gone to the sideline. Dickey and Berry the forwards. This is Haskins. Turn around on Douglas. Dudley pointing to a spot and goes to Derek Dickey, who gives it back. Ray comes out, picks Smith, move left side. Clifford Ray with a tap.
Good tap in, but good defense by coming over by the Big E that time, because I think Smith had a clear layup. Big E made him throw it off a little bit. Clifford Ray was there.
Washington on the attack. They lead it by 11 points. Unseld waits for somebody to break open. It is Chenier against Smith. Chenier outside. Off the front, Dudley coming down. Warriors need to put together a good running streak. Here comes Dickey, lost control, and it is Reardon coming back for Washington off the defense. Reardon looking ahead, it'll be 4 on 5. Unseld not joining on the attack. Knocked away by Rick Berry. Here come the Warriors. No chance for a break. Unseld is waiting, and Reardon and Haskins get back in a hurry. Now Smith accelerates, basket get away. No, turned it over. So as he came in, there was a foul. Witherspoon has checked in.
Yeah, the action is getting a little ragged here. Golden State has got to start converting some of these baskets, put them in, because they're down by 11, but they're playing against a tougher team than Chicago.
And the first foul against Clem Haskins.
You're the pro, George. I need some new tires. What kind should I get? You're holding the answer in your hand. X-Fly tires? Turn it around, Frank. Dunlop. Dunlop tires, of course. Sure, Dunlop's one of the largest tire manufacturers in the world. That means a lot of people are putting a lot of trust in Dunlop on the road.
When you want to get more out of your drive, see a pro. That's me. See your Dunlop Pro. If you like us on the fairway, you'll love us on the freeway.
Hey, honey, this DuPont Rally goes on just as easy as that self-polishing wax of yours.
Oh, really?
No, Rally. Rally actually gets off dirt. You know, road film. Your self-polishing stuff is waxing right over it.
Oh, really?
No, Rally. And you know, getting the dirt off makes the car shine better with Rally, too.
Oh, really?
No, Rally.
DuPont Rally, creamer liquid, waxes your car, not the dirt.
You know, Rally is terrific.
Oh, really?
You know, an annual feature on the CBS Sports Spectacular is our coverage of the Martin Luther King International Freedom Games. That's next Sunday, and Oscar, what a show that's going to be. Filbert Bayi ran a 3:51 mile. He cracked that 8-year-old record, which was established by Jim Ryan out in Bakersfield, California, at the AAU Nationals one night. And Bayi has smashed it. You'll see it next Sunday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Upstairs view, and it gives me an opportunity to wish our director, Sandy Grossman, a lot of luck tomorrow in Los Angeles. He's been nominated for an Emmy for his NBA coverage. He deserves it. We had a foul underneath as a man came to the basket.
I noticed that time Golden State got into a set where they're trying to open it up a little bit. Rick Berry's out a little higher because they're really putting pressure on him to keep him from getting the ball. So he's got to come out a little higher to get it.
That was the second foul against Haskins. Dudley is at the line, and he will shoot twice. Dudley did a fine job against Norm Van Leer Wednesday night. Coming off the bench, misses the second one. Dickey on the turnaround.
Well, so Dickey comes in the game. He does something. He scores.
Here is Al Addo's bench, 63-55. Haskins working against Dudley. So the shock troops are trying to do it against Chenier. Off. Blue jerseys there. The Warriors may be putting something together here. Dudley brings it down on the right side.
That Clifford Ray is high as a kite.
Now he tries to come right baseline, dishes back to Clifford Ray. Ray goes to Smith, puts a move on Chenier. He's cut off. Now he goes to the basket, rolls the left-handed shot. Tap in.
Do you see that tap in? Hey, great tap.
63-57. They are back to within 6. And it is Smith, Dudley, Ray, Berry, Dickey doing the job. Witherspoon with the ball. Kevin Porter will have to come back in. Here's Elvin Hayes against Dickey. How will he do? Berry on the double team. Elvin up firing. Not this time. Oh, Unseld ran into. Is he all right over there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you talking about knocking somebody's breath out. Did you see that collision?
And West can do it.
I didn't know if Dickey was going to recover. It is Kevin Porter right back in that game, and Haskins goes to the bench. So Porter back 5-16. Remember, he has 4 fouls. The 5th one would look good. Chenier's open.
Well, this is a tough game. You got to have pressure all over.
8-point lead. Very important for Golden State to answer right here and not lose contact. They've got a chance. Very backdoor Dudley.
Well, they're taking advantage of Porter right now. That little Dudley has really come in and done a fine job.
Number 15, his confidence is beginning to rise. He's picking up Porter. Unseld joins down on the attack. 5-on-5. Chenier comes over to help out. Shot clock moves down to 10. When they make Washington wait for the shots, they're not going to be as good. Chenier with a basketball. Over the left baseline. Out of bounds, it'll go to Washington. Shot clock will recycle to 10, and they've gone down to 5.
That was a good play that time by Dickey. He got off the Big E. When you get off, you got to go out and attack him, because if he gets it back, look out.
There's an injury timeout. Bill Ford comes over to tend to Kevin Porter. Glad to see Bill Ford back on the job. About 2 weeks ago, he was involved in a serious automobile accident, and he can now work with the Bullets for a couple of games, and you can see perhaps the right side of his face still slightly discolored. Done a marvelous job for this basketball team. He's tending to Kevin Porter's right thigh area there, high on the leg.
Yeah, it looks like he's spraying some methyl chloride on it just to freeze it a little bit. May have gotten a knee in his thigh there.
Oscar, is there a chance an athlete can injure himself even more when he puts that spray on?
I don't know. I hope not. I've had it on me a lot of times.
Well, you're very healthy. You whipped me in a one-on-one game.
No,
you fouled me, Oscar Robertson. You're terrible.
Brett, I never foul.
I need a referee. Kevin Porter's got the ball, working against Dudley. Now here's Unseld outside. Out there, look at the battle underneath. Chenier takes it away from Ray. A tremendous offensive rebound. Crowd comes alive. They've been down for a couple of minutes. Intercepted Berry, and it is the relentless Golden State Warriors. They don't know how to quit. Dish it off Dudley. Tap in.
Dickey is on the job. Hey.
Ball rolled away. Clock is stopped at 4:12 in the third. This, folks, is a 4-point game. Unseld comes down. Porter hits the floor. No foul. Chenier brings it up. DC2 is the call here. Gives off to Witherspoon. It goes back to Chenier. Smith watches him, releases on Spoon. Chenier comes right side, switch out by Ray, go back to Unseld. He shouldn't be open, there he is. Now Unseld holds up, Ray is there with him. Smith comes in back.
Hey, watch out.
Now the pass inside, getting very physical out there. Gets a little strong. He picked up the foul against Phil Smith.
Yes, it is getting a little physical out there. I hope no one runs into one of those Unseld elbows.
3 fouls against Smith. Here is Chenier. Maneuvers inside, comes up, partially blocked. Look at Wesley, he has it knocked away. And there is a foul as he came back up.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but Ray should have been there to box him out, but he wasn't there. Right here, Ray takes his eye away from Unseld. He slips in behind him. Gets a 2-shot foul out of it.
For Derek Dickey, his first foul. Unseld comes to the line. The NBA's leading rebounder, averaged better than 14 a game during the regular season, and during the playoffs he has been averaging 16 rebounds a game.
And he's a terrific passer also. He's the hub of that offense for Washington when they do sit up and when they dump fast break. He gets it down, he makes the right passes.
Golden State in the penalty, so the third free throw is coming up. 5 team fouls against the Warriors, only 3 against Washington, with 3:46 to go in the third. This is Porter comes back out. Elvin Hayes comes up. A 7-point Washington lead.
He had the ball off the board. I think that's bad basketball in that situation like that.
22 points for Hayes as they wheel it. Knocked away by Porter and out of bounds.
The little guy's really hustling now. They should have gotten that ball in that free throw miss.
Dudley bounces it into Ray. They come back to Dudley. Dudley tried to put a move. Porter's on him playing with 4 fouls. Dudley has him down low, has to pass back to Smith. Here has him. Smith pull-up jump shot.
Hey, good shot by Phil Smith then.
Puts Golden State within 5.
This is where they got to do it. They got to do it on this end.
So they will go to work on defense, trying to get it back. Dudley lets Porter come free as Berry released, and on the miss it is Dickey with the rebound, and back comes Phil Smith. And again, it is that Warrior bench doing an incredible job. They can pull to within 3 points here. Puts a move on, comes inside, throws it up, and there was a foul. Phil Smith is not afraid to drive into Wesley Unseld territory.
I think that was a good move by Phil. You can see this overhead shot. You can actually see all the players get set up. They're trying to get the play going. You know,
that was Dudley taking Porter down inside and then releasing back.
Yes, it was. You can just see this. Nice shot.
Hi. What's America's lowest base sticker price compact? Ford Maverick.
Don't forget the provolone.
And Maverick's lower price includes steel-belted radials and lots more.
So play everybody. Let's go to work. Come on, buddy. Let's go to work.
On the catwalk, you were watching Casey Jones break his huddle. And the story, the Warrior bench, they have outscored the Washington bench 22-9 so far in this game. They have pulled Al Attle's team back to within 5 points and 2:49 for the third quarter.
Yeah, he does have a lot of confidence in his bench because he goes to them all the time, and I think Smith is leading that bench's charge with 8 points.
And he will be coming to the free throw line to see if he can add to that 8-point total. Shogashu bounces the ball to him, signals that he has a pair coming. Warriors trailing by 4. A second-round draft choice who has turned in a tremendous performance for the Warriors.
I noticed in this game, you know, in each quarter, the Bullets seem to be in shooting the bonus much earlier than Golden State.
Back to within 3. Trying to urge the Bullets on. Dickey working against Hayes. Hayes up firing. Not there, but Spoon misses. And it is Clifford Ray who is pulling it down, and there was a loose ball foul. Back up in the air. It's on Elvin Hayes.
And they'll be in the bonus this time.
Third.
Yeah, it puts them in the bonus.
Penalty situation.
So I guess Adams finally went to player after player after player and has come up with Derek Dickey.
And Dickey was battling Elvin Hayes. Not only was he physical, he was getting off the floor. Dudley has done a tremendous job working with Phil Smith. Clifford Ray has been the center, and of course Rick Barry is the other forward. Clifford misses an important free throw with a score 68-65 and 2:36 for the quarter. Misses both of them, and Hayes brings it down.
That hurt. They needed those. I mean, you get 2 free throws, and it is called a free throw. You should try to get him in, but he didn't.
Washington with a 3-point lead. Chenier with a miss. Clifford Ray hits the boards and yanks it down, and here comes the rookie Phil Smith over to the right side. He can accelerate if they give him daylight. Cut off, and he goes to Dudley. Now Smith wants to go underneath and post. Chenier is down. He gets back up. Dickey didn't get the ball to him in time. Shot clock towards 10. Very right side. Pass back to Ray. Ray on his stop.
You see how far he took off and dunked that ball. He was almost standing on the foul line.
68-67. Golden State has come all the way back, trailing by a point. Porter with the ball, rotates left side. Haskins going to come in, knocked out of bounds by Dickey. Ball goes to Washington.
Watch this play. You see some great action right here by Rick. He goes up. Watch Clifford. Stretch. Yes.
Just about jumped up and touched our camera in that situation. Hold on, says Earl Strom. Let's give him his 3 feet. And let's try this again. Draws that line. Goes to Kevin Porter. Dudley on him. Quickly to Haskins on the inbound. So it is a 3-point lead. Haskins off the bench for the big hoop. Gives him a lift.
That's just inexperienced by Smith that time. He should have made him go in.
Hayes gambles, can't get it. Dickey back to Ray. They try to work it again.
Hey, Clifford Ray responds. Dickey looked a great look by Dickey then. They picked him out. Got it right to him. He put it in.
Shorter back. Dudley dealing against him. Oh, look at that pick, and Dudley is down. Hold on. Blocking foul against
Hey,
Unso.
call it on Unso.
I'll tell you what, there is more contact right here than Muhammad Ali and Lyle had in 11 rounds.
Now, that's true.
Holy criminies did they collide. Dudley's all right. Brings it crisscross to Smith to the right side. Porter pushes against him. Clifford Ray has scored 8 points this quarter. So he does not ordinarily look for the shot. And hold on. No basket coming the other way.
Well, looks like they're trading fouls right now.
Very physical underneath. A 1-point Washington lead. 1:07 for the third quarter. Here is Kevin Porter. The comeback kids are at it again in Landover. Haskins comes down to the left baseline, deals back to Hayes. Hayes goes up firing. In and out, and Unseld with an offensive rebound, sets it up. Here is Haskins. Not there. Unseld, they're giving him. But of course that one bounced to him, and he misses. Spoon at the board. Finally, Dickey yanks it down. Back comes Smith in a hurry. He would like to attack with Washington down a little bit. Cut off by Haskins. Wants to make a move. Turnaround. There. Contact underneath. Against Golden State. It is against Clifford Ray, who was on the floor. Loose ball foul.
I tell you,
his third.
He has been a tower strength for them on these boards. Although he's down right now, I'm sure he'll get back up. But you can see this shot by Smith. He was a little off balance then. It still gets it away. And watch Clifford come in there. He just rolled Weatherspoon right out. And they're putting nothing on the line. I thought it was Weatherspoon.
How about a blue overhead? So they are in the penalty. Both teams are in the penalty. We have 34 seconds for the quarter. Washington leading Golden State by 1 point. Game we did earlier this year on CBS. Golden State overcame a 16-point Boston Celtic lead and won. Wednesday night, Chicago led them by 14 points. They won. Hits them both, and the lead goes 72-69. Down toward 30 seconds. Dudley checks the clock and brings it up against the timeline. Let's see what they do here. Trailing by 3. KC wants Haskins to come on and take the pass away from Smith. He does. Dudley has to continue dribbling. It is Berry who fires. Up high comes Elvin Hayes. Couldn't get the pass. They go to Porter. 14 seconds. Porter up. Not there. Dickey back down. They have time for one shot. Lead pass. Not there. Bad pass. Weatherspoon back. 6 seconds. Down inside of 5. Now it is Haskins. And here
he was on the out of bounds.
When he had it, we've got 3 seconds left in the third quarter. 3 seconds to get something going. They'll tighten him up against the ball, but hold on. There was action at the other end.
Before the throw in, I got number 12, Brad.
Number 12 is Weatherspoon before the throw-in.
His right foot is out of bounds right there.
But very important, there was a foul before the throw-in, so Berry comes to the line.
I tell you, they call a foul on Weatherspoon with Rick Graves. Grabbed him by the shirt and threw him to the side. I guess he did. And then the referee looked. You're right.
You see that in football. The guy who strikes the puck doesn't get kicked out, but that's second punch. A critical moment with 2 seconds to go in the third, and Berry at the line. He can make it a 1-point basketball game. He does. Now, if they guard the ball, they should not let Washington have a shot. Long overhead. Not there. Buzzer has sounded. An incredible third quarter performance by the Golden State Warriors, Oscar. They are right back in this basketball game.
Yes, they are. And Adam said he's been coming back all year. He doesn't want to stop with this ball game here.
High above the Capitol Center, they have a gigantic 4-sided television screen that you are looking at right now because they are capable of punching up our picture. So there we are, high above the arena as we get ready to start the last 12 minutes of standing ovation. They're trying to bring their team back alive. In the third quarter, they were outscored 31-18. So 19,000 are saying, let's get going. Their team leads, but only by a point, 72-71. Golden State with a chance to go ahead. Smith comes in left side, working against Kevin Porter.
You race to get out of the way of the situation. Let Smith go one-on-one.
Unseld is there.
He's taking too long. He's taking too long.
Shot clock down.
Oh,
and there was a foul.
On Kevin for Smith be his fifth foul.
It is his fifth, though.
See, that's smart basketball. In a situation like that, Smith is 6'4" versus Porter 5'10" or 11. He should have gotten out of the way. Ray should have. He did. He's a little late, but got 2 fouls, 2 shots out of it. Well, that ties it up, Brent.
Clem Haskins has checked in. Kevin Porter goes out. And how Washington may miss Jimmy Jones in the serves. Golden State has gone ahead. And it has been the work of Smith, Dudley, Dickey, Berry, and Ray. There's the shooting staff for the third quarter. Now it is Chenier. Out there, Hayes battling under the board. And Washington is the lead seesaws.
You know, Dickens got to be careful in situations like that. When he switches out, he's got to get back to his man. But it wasn't his fault. He went out to cover Chenier, and he made him miss the shot. McGar should block that Biggie out.
Clifford Ray with the basketball. Shot clock down towards 10. Warriors trail by a point. The rookie up firing.
Yeah, that's the play I don't set up in the huddle.
Performance by Phil Smith. He is doing a magnificent job. He has scored 14 points coming off the bench.
That young man's going to set somebody down to start for this team next season.
He may start before this series is over, leave alone next season. Here's Reardon. Berry has him. They come over to the left side. Berry pushes him back out. Shot clock down towards 5. Offensive foul. And it may have been Dickey pushing against Elvin Hayes.
Watch this. Watch this hug here by the Big E. He's being shoved right there. Reaches back and gets it around the neck.
Being wrestled. Reardon outside. Blue jerseys at the board. Unusual against Unseld and Hayes. And back comes Smith. They lead it by a point. Now it is Dudley. Dudley trying to shut something up for the Warriors. They go to Dickey. Shot clock down towards 10. Not good movement here for the Warriors. Here's Rick Berry outside. 6 seconds. Far away. They didn't have anything going.
No, that was a tough shot by Rick. I guess he's made him in the pass, but he's not shooting well this game. I think he should move in a little bit.
We're down to 10-10. Washington trailing by a point. They led all the way until the first moments in the fourth quarter. Chenier goes to Haskins. Haskins playing in place of Porter's out with foul trouble as Hayes fires. Again, it is the Warriors with a rebound. Dudley bringing it down. Comes right side, puts a move on. Haskins up with a shot. Unseld yanks down a defensive lead past Reardon. Reardon and Berry. Reardon to the basket. An important hoop.
You know, he just simply outran Rick Berry that time. I don't think Rick thought he was going to be there.
So the Bullets back on top. Dickey with the ball. Berry at the line. Haskins wheels Dudley. Dudley gets in tight, dishes it off to Dickey, and there was a whistle. He's got it.
Yes, he does. I tell you.
Oh, the shot counts. The Warriors have gone back ahead.
You see this again. A lot of good action underneath that basket. Derek Dickey has come in this game, and I'll tell you, Brent, he is sensational.
Derek Dickey indicated he was in the doghouse during the Chicago series. He is out of the doghouse.
You know,
and how?
This is true. He was kidding with his coach, and I think it's good when anytime a player can kid about a situation when you aren't not getting a chance to play. He said he wants more time. And Joe Roberts telling him, go to the boards then.
Keith Wilkes has checked back in. Rick Berry gets a rest. Unseld has the ball. Adels attacks you in waves. Hayes with the basketball. They double team on him. They couldn't get it off, and Ray has it. Crowd thought there was a foul.
Yep.
So did Elvin. No whistle. Smith on the right side. Warriors go up by 4. Smith couldn't.
Hey, that young man is really taking it to him, Brent. He is not hesitating one bit. He says, let's go, and he's going. Oh!
A technical foul against K.C. Jones.
On K.C.?
Joe Gashu was there. Now Rick Berry is on the bench, so he cannot shoot it. And they go to Phil Smith to shoot the technical.
Now he gets to shoot his 2 shots.
He got 5. A 3-point Golden State lead, 9:01. This could cost Washington the home court advantage, and they go back to California for the next two. A critical 9-minute period for K.C. Jones and the Washington Bullets. Haskins goes out. Porter is back in. Checks in with those 5 fouls. They must use him.
Yeah, they got to go attack Porter right now.
In and out, and Unseld pulls it down and goes to Kevin Porter. The Bullets are on the attack. K.C. Jones looking on. Dudley is all over Porter, who comes left side. Shot clock goes down at 12. Unseld with the ball. Waits for somebody to cut off of it. Smith is right there with Chenier, doing a good job on defense, too. Here's Reardon. Wilkes is on him. Reardon, Unseld is open just beyond the line, and he can't hit it, but Hayes taps it in.
Yeah, there's the big E's on the board. Derek didn't box him out that time, but I tell you, there's a lot of action moving around. Players start to move. It's tough. When a player moves on you, he's tough to guard.
Washington with a 2-point lead. Smith with the basketball, and there was contact detected by Joe Kashu. It is on Chenier. Chenier can't believe it.
No, he can't.
His
But it's on him.
Foul. 3 fouls against Washington at 8:25. 1 against Golden State.
Personal foul called on
Rick Barry is resting. Dudley goes to Ray.
4th team foul.
Unseld, then Hayes have gone all the way for Washington. Smith outside. Hits the top of the rim, comes back out, and Smith has the ball. Works against Chenier. Comes back outside to Keith Wilkes. He's still off his touch. Drives in for the rebound. Taken away. Unseld on the save to Porter. Dudley gamble. Porter comes. Dickey's there. Porter to the basket. They are tied at 7:59. Game 1 of the championship.
Yeah, it's all tied up.
And Washington is getting all it wants. Dudley goes to Dickey. Dickey with the ball. Now outside comes to Clifford Gray. Gray holds it up. Shot clock hits 10. Wilkes has it. Reardon has him. Wilkes on the turnaround.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, Keith
Hey, I tell you, maybe he can get his confidence up against Reardon.
Smooth as silk when he hits it. Porter back on the right side. 2-point Golden State lead. 7:30 for the ball game. Almost taken away. Ties him up. Jump ball.
Great steal that time by that young
about
man.
People doing a job. How about the first game up in Boston? Do you remember the afternoon he had? He couldn't hold on to the basketball. The last 2 times we've had him, he has played tremendously for Adams.
You know, sister, I talked to Coach Adams. He says he tries to instill a lot of confidence in his ball players. He said he has players on his bench. He tries to get the most out of them. And I think our ball players that come into a situation like this have to know what they can do best.
Nick Weatherspoon checks back in. He has scored only 4 points in this game. He has not been as devastating as he was against the Boston Celtics. Some moisture on the floor is being dried up. That's why we have a delay right now. Liam Porter tip it off. Unseld has it.
That was a bad toss. They should have tossed it up again.
Give to Kevin Porter. Now Washington can tie it at 7:19. The class of the NBA. Best record in the East. Tied with Boston. Beat him. Walks down court. Dudley's all alone.
Well, and a left-hander at that. I didn't think he saw him at first, but he soon picked him out.
Now let's see what Washington is made of. 6 minutes, trailing by 4. Porter battling for it. He was pushed.
Yes, he did. He pushed him.
Dudley shoved him down as he went for the basketball.
And Kevin Porter just smiles. Hey, I tell you, that young man is really getting out there hustling. Watch West get this ball going down the court. This is a great shot here by Kevin. Derek Dickey's there. Does it with the body. He surprises it.
So, 6:59 to go. Game 1 of the championship. A surprise in Landover.
What's America's best-selling small luxury car? What? Ford Mustang 2. It outsells Monza, Skyhawk, Starfire. It outsells all of them put together. Know why? Why? Value. Oh. Mustang 2's base sticker price includes steel-belted radials, 4-speed floor shift, rack and pinion steering, and more. Wow. And Ford Mustang sticker price starts below competition, including Chevy's Monza Town Coupe. Hey, America.
We didn't know that.
Ford means value, and your Ford dealer can show you.
Who wants to be treated like just another beautiful body? I got a brain. So Bev, got a new Hager top. It mixes and matches with... Connie, Hager slacks to give me a variety of ways to express my individuality. For less than $45, I'm more than a beautiful body. I'm a sex object.
Hager slacks of Easy Care Celanese Fortrel polyester. And now Hager tops, $25 and under. So who says the cost of looking good is going up?
Thanks, Hager.
Oh,
Rick Barry has hit 5 of 18. Keith Wilkes 4 of 15. And yet the Golden State Warriors are ahead by 4 points with 6:59 to go because the bench has done it again for Al Adams.
Yes, they have. And you talk a lot about defense. A lot of cities get a lot of more publicity than others. This team is playing very good defensively. That kid Dudley has come in and put the clamps on him. He stopped Porter from penetrating. And look at him now. Porter, he's got put his hands right now.
Porter gets the ball. Dudley all over him. Washington can be so explosive when they get it working. Trailing by 4. Porter comes to Unseld. The shot clock was at 24. Chenier comes up. Not there, and Smith hits the boards for the Warriors.
Well, they can thank Clifford Ray for that miss that time by Chenier. Because he got up there, got his hands up, and made him miss it.
Porter comes out. No foul. Everything is safe, says Joe Gashu. Dudley on the dribble. Porter playing with 5 fouls. They come back to Clifford Ray. Defense is tremendous for Washington.
They don't have much time left.
Down to 5. Smith will have to hurry. He gets it off and a
Oh! Hey, that's a pressure shot then. Time was running out, but he took his time and put it in. Ahead.
Now let's see what Dickey does to Hayes. Washington has to try Hayes in this situation. Chenier outside. Well, why not Phil Chenier?
They got to get on top of him. I tell you, we got a ball game here.
6:06, 86-82, and we got a foul, says Gashu. They got him in the backcourt. On Phil Chenier, his 3rd foul.
And they're in the bonus.
The only player with 5, Kevin Porter.
24, right. You got to get away from him because they can double team in that situation.
You can hear Al Adams talking to Smith about get away or they're going to trap with the extra man.
Foul call to the backcourt.
Oh, it rolled in. Hey, he's got a nice little soft touch. That's an unusual looking shot.
88-82. Washington trails by 6. See if they can get their game back together with 5:55 to go. Dickey all over Hayes. Ball was deflected out of bounds by Golden State. It goes to the Bullets. Chenier will have it. It's a foul situation, and Johnson and Beard, of course, are on the bench. Spoon. Wilkes down with a rebound.
Look at Derek Dickey get down the court.
Rebounds. Gives off to Dudley, who brings it up.
I think they're going to run play 24 this time.
So Rick Barry is still being rushed with 5:39 to go. Smith with the ball for Golden State. Into Wilkes. Wilkes looking at his Witherspoon. Wilkes wants the shot. Not there, and it is Unseld who yanks it down. They need a splurge. Trailing by 6. Chenier comes up, make it 4.
Yes, he does. And I think he wanted to go in the foul that time. I think he got pushed a little.
Smith brings it right back. Warriors leading by 2 field goals. Smith signals the play. Adams goes down toward Rick Barry. It won't be long. Gray holds it up over his head. Green comes in, and there was a pushing foul on that side after the pass had gone to Keith Wilkes.
I think when they got the push.
That was Witherspoon on the push as Wilkes comes to the line, and that is the 4th foul against Witherspoon.
The reason it's not an end right now because he's coming in the game for Wilkes. I think they want to keep Derek Dickey in there on the boards against the Big 8 because he's played him very well this second half and really helped turn this game around.
Keith Wilkes, their #1 draft choice rookie of the year. Today, Phil Smith, 18 points, 7 rebounds. Wilkes hits his free throws. Kevin Porter back. Clock moves inside of 5 minutes. Washington trails by 6 points. They were favored by as many as 5. Here's Hayes up. In and out, and Wilkes will still another rebound.
I'll tell you one thing.
Lead pass, Clifford Ray back down the floor, right to the basket.
Oh, that's right. That's offensive charge. I tell you, in a situation like that, I think he should have held the ball up. You know, he saw the man standing there. He went up in there. He lost his feet. He gets called for an offensive foul.
Weston Rick Barry has checked back in for Golden State. Wilkes goes out. Porter penetrates. Dishes Unseld. Foul on Barry.
That's all right.
It's his 1st foul and only 3 fouls against
bad
Golden State. They are not yet in the penalty.
No, that's not a bad foul because it keeps him away from almost a sure scoring situation if he'd have gotten the ball.
Unseld holds it, goes across to Phil Chenier. They want Chenier outside. Not there, and as Witherspoon went up, there was a loose ball foul. And it is on Witherspoon, and because they are on the penalty, they will come up here and shoot, and that is 5 fouls against Witherspoon.
And Rick Berry is going to shoot these 2 free throws. And you know what that means. I think he's the leading free throw shooter in the NBA this year.
1 and 1. 2 shots.
They can move ahead by 8 points. Smith had been over checking with Adels. He comes down. Dickey and Dudley conversing. So who is going to station himself where? Mike Reardon has checked back into the game. Witherspoon goes out.
Well, that's one of them.
An 8-point Golden State lead. I somehow don't believe what has happened here this afternoon. Washington in total control, lost it, and they've been unable to come back. Chenier outside. Here yanked back to within 6 points.
You know, I tell you,
4-16.
You can't pick it up. That guy, Dickey, is really getting up and down the court. He was there that time. They didn't see him.
Ray holds the ball out high. Goes to Dudley. Porter works against him. Dudley tries to take Porter inside. They come back out to Ray. Here's Rick Barry. Shot clock with 3 seconds. They must hurry. In and out as the shot clock goes off in time. Barry on the steal.
Yeah, take his time. That's a good move. This is a good move.
Smith now maneuvering.
Oh, that's a bad foul that time. He's out of the ball game.
Kevin Porter has fouled out with 3:43. He goes to the bench, and Clem Haskins will check back in.
And Brent, I tell you, when that young man is out of the ball game for Washington, they're not as quick up and down the court. They don't get the good penetration, don't get the play movement.
Clem Haskins replacing Kevin Porter.
You can see the reason why they aren't getting the ball in the A's. They're really double teaming, trying to get in front right here because this is what Smith has to do in that situation.
Smith.
That was a mistake the Big East should have made. Let him get right inside. He came to play this game, didn't he, Brent?
An 8-point Warrior lead, 3:30. Haskins. Put up waits for Chenier. Here is Chenier. Dudley knocks it away, and Dudley fouled it.
If we're going to show you, Smith is going to shoot this basket here on the free throw. Derek gets right inside and dunks it in. I tell you, he's really come on. He may have been in the doghouse yesterday, but not today.
Haskins waits. Unseld comes out. They trail by 8. 3:22. Here is Haskins up fire. Now it is Sith. 3:17. Clifford Ray helps out. Gives it off to Dudley, who brings it up for the Warriors. Haskins will take him. Chenier takes Smith. They go into Clifford Ray, and he was fouled.
Yeah, Cliff is on.
4th foul against Wesley Unseld.
There's K.C. Jones there watching action. I tell you, it's amazing what a couple of ball players will do for a team. Their momentum has really come on. They seem to be confident in what they're doing. The play movement is much better now.
Well, having some problems at the free throw line, and Leonard Robinson is getting ready to check in for K.C. Jones. Wesley Unseld is going to get a rest with 3:05 left in the game.
They still have a lot of time left in this ball game. We just over some good action yet. Real good action.
Ray drills this one. It's a 7-point lead. Here comes Haskins against Dudley. Inside in 3 minutes for the Washington Bullets. Heavily favored. Their backs into the wall. Hayes comes up on Ray. Hayes got it.
I tell you, I thought that was going to be an offensive foul because he hit him with...
Back. Knocked away. Taken away by Washington. Out comes Haskins. Now they can move to within 3. Here is Hayes. In and out. Hayes at the boards. Won't go. Tipped away. Barry Reardon races over to Ray, and it's Reardon who saves it. Into Haskins on the turnaround. They are back. Now a 3-point basketball game. Here comes Rick Barry with control. 2:24. 19,000 have come alive and sold the Washington Bullets. Smith comes out. He's been the main man in the backcourt for the Warriors. Chenier leading on him. 95-92. Shot clock down toward 5. Berry against Rick. Berry puts the move. Goes for the basket.
Oh, great shot by Rick that time. Hey, that was some shot. Great move. Hey, we got a finish here.
Back come the Bullets. Here is Phil Chenier. Berry switches off on him. They go to Clem Haskins. Haskins comes right side. Berry is over there. Haskins back outside to Chenier. Shot clock down toward 5. Hold on. This is the sound of that. He was fouled as he came up firing.
That's a good play by Chenier that time to get it up on the hoop. But watch this play here by Rick. Going through here, little pump, right into the basket. Great move.
.145 left in the basketball game. Golden State Warriors leading the Washington Bullets 97-92.
You can buy a powder to help keep your feet dry, and you can buy a cooling foot refresher, and you can buy an athlete's foot treatment, or you can buy Desenex. Desenex does it all. Sprayed into shoes and boots, it helps keep feet dry and comfortable. Sprayed through stockings, it soothes and cools hot, tired, aching feet. And medicated Desenex powder helps relieve itchy, burning, peeling feet. Athlete's foot. Desenex. It does a lot more than just fight athlete's foot.
The news makes Ford Pinto look better than ever. Pinto is now sticker-priced $555 under VW's Rabbit. That'll buy 1,000 gallons of lead-free gasoline at 55 cents a gallon.
I didn't know that.
Say you drive 12,000 miles a year. Based on EPA highway average mileages, it'd take nearly 7 years before a standard 4-cylinder Pinto loses its initial price advantage to Rabbit.
Very interesting.
Ford means value. See your local Ford dealer.
Look, new Manpower antiperspirant. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Compare it yourself. Manpower has more power to help keep you dry than the sprays that most men use. And it's a powerful deodorant with a long-lasting masculine scent. Manpower has enough going for it that the people who make it will give you your money back if you're not satisfied. Just send the cap to Manpower. New Manpower spray and unique stick. Both guaranteed. Fair enough?
Next time down, 3-8.
Chenier, Bernie Bickerstaff is there as they break the huddle. The statistic to remember, the Warrior bench has outscored the Bullet bench 42-15.
But we have to realize they have 5 guys that have been playing for the Golden State versus 2 for Washington. But they still have outscored them.
The Warriors lead it by 5. 1:45 for the game. Chenier is at the free throw line.
We got musical positions on the basket there because I think he wants to be beside Derek Dickey.
No, you stay right there. Now let's go. 3 for 2.
Did Earl get him straight down?
Yeah, finally.
Has 3 shots to make 2.
They should be in a pressing situation after he makes his free throw.
Hold to within 3. Robinson on Dickey on the inbound. They go to Ray. Now to Dudley. Adelsane move. Get it up across the timeline. Dudley has it there. Adels cannot cross the timeline as he signals the play from behind it. Dudley passes off to Dickey. Shot clock to 10. They try to go backdoor. Hayes.
Oh, good defense.
Haskins up court to Reardon. Out there. Ray Sky brings it down.
Look at Rick is down the court. Well, I guess they're playing safe. Hey.
Dudley gets inside of Chenier, working against the clock, leading by 3 points. 1:05 left for the game. Shot clock goes down toward 5 seconds. Smith moves left, cut off Haskins. Shot clock at 3. Smith deals off, knocked out of bounds. And it will belong to the Warriors.
Hey, thanks Chenier. Knocked that ball away that time. Hey, we got a finisher, Brent.
10 seconds on the shot clock. A 3-shot A 3-point Golden State lead. Dickey waits. Smith comes under, breaks open, blocked by Haskins. There was a foul.
Oh, it's a foul. It's a great block that time by Haskins. That foul is on Smith. See this pass right here? He blocked it. And it's a good defensive play by Haskins.
Chenier is coming to the free throw line, but Joe Gushue says, no, let's get the man
If he makes two, timeout.
who belongs there.
Yep. Just heard Adam say if he makes 2 shots, call a timeout. Oh, he missed the first one.
Block out. Go get the ball.
Al Adams has called this timeout, and let's go over and listen to Al as he talks to the Warriors over there on their bench. 97-95 they lead, 56 for the game.
Okay. Okay, here's what I want to run. I want to run to the side, reverse. You're underneath again. All right? You be up. You have the ball. Derek, now you got. Don't let him steal. Okay? The ball goes to you. You go down and then reverse. You've got to stay back, and the other forward, you got to get back. No 3-point play if we miss. Bring it back out. Right.
Now let's go to K.C. Jones on the Washington bench.
Hey, Wes.
Get a good shot on it. This might be that play that where the guard goes down, sets that screen for Barry to come off baseline. Okay, but the first half, remember the guard went down and slipped, and they hit him with a little pass for a layup.
They make it. We got a timeout. You don't get him down quick. They didn't get it something close. What do you want?
3-8. Why not even if they miss it, let's call a timeout and set something up. We'll get it at half court. If they miss it, you got to look right.
I think that might be a better play. Then we got to come back, let them set up the defense, and then take us out. If you get the rebound, don't call timeout.
All right, go down, and we got a 3-8 if we don't have the break.
All right.
But overplay everybody. Be on the ball before they throw it in. Overplay everybody.
Well, you heard it. I think both coaches got their strategy all set up. Evidently, Washington thinks that Golden State's going to run a back door somehow.
If he has the ball,
No. By calling the timeout, they will get mid-court position for this inbounds pass. Wesley Unseld has checked back in. So we have Dudley and Smith, Dickey, Ray and Berry, Reardon, Unseld, Hayes, Haskins, and Chenier. Game one on the line, 56 seconds to go. Smith will inbound it. Comes down to Ray. Unseld is there. They have a full 24 seconds on the shot clock. Golden State leading by a field goal. Smith with the ball. Turns left, comes back to Chenier. A whistle, Dickey with the ball. Shot clock at 10, Dickey to Ray. Ray comes back to Berry.
Oh, wow. What a clutch shot. Hey.
What a four-wower for you. That was more wows than you come up with all season.
My heart is beating 100 miles an hour, man. I'm telling you, I'm really excited about this. It's a hell of a finish.
You just generated 2,000 letters from Washington saying you're pulling the Warriors.
Hey, I'm telling you, I think they're playing some great basketball from both sides. They can say I'm pulling anybody they want to, but these guys are playing great ball.
It's amazing they came back. Let's listen to that.
No shot now. All we do is run the clock out.
Now,
Let's go.
Go after he gets the ball.
Hold up, man. You know it, Clem?
No.
We got to get it. Let Clem take it down. Okay, Clem, take it out. Mike, you want to run it? Come on, write it down. Okay. We got some time. That's West. The guard's out front. E is here. West is here. Here's the ball.
Mike's taking it out.
Mike's coming off. They're coming off West. West pops right back here. Clem, you hit him, right? E pops up past the other guard.
Goes
He's
back
moved over here.
Okay,
He goes over
already
to
moved.
okay.
That would be me. That would be me.
All right. So you just move over on that.
You come off
Go
of
back
me.
door.
Mike's gonna come off of me and
Hey, this guard now got to go all the way across.
This
Don't
one's got to
stop.
come over. He's
Right,
comes
yeah,
over
okay.
and he goes on outside.
So we're looking for West.
You mean one coming over, setting the pick?
Yeah, I know. Who's throwing it in?
Yeah. You know, I tell you, has been my first opportunity in my basketball career to see, action like this. I know what it means in a pressure situation to take a shot like that and get it in. And, I tell you, try to remain as cool as you can sometimes. I think it was a great shot. It was a great clutch shot by Rick Barry in that situation.
You were much calmer as a player than you are as a broadcaster.
I would say you're right.
Haskins will have it. We've got 38 seconds for the game. 99-95. Golden State on the verge of staging a tremendous upset in game one. Unseld quickly to Hayes. They try to go backdoor. Smith cuts off Chenier. And here's Golden
Look at
State
that
with the ball.
play by Derek Dickey. Man, that guy has been super.
Now Rick Barry brings it down. We've got 28 seconds. He'll pass it over to Clifford Ray, and here is Smith. They'll work against the clock. They lead it by 4. Washington must have the basketball. Game 2 in San Francisco Tuesday night. You'll see it on CBS. Dudley, not there. Rebound, and we'll have a post-game show.
Telling you.
Oscar will be in talking to some of the Warriors.
Derek Dickey for one. I tell you that.
They trap against the ball. 5 seconds. They'll let it go down. 3 seconds. It was fouled. Haskins came back. The Warrior bench realizes it's all over.
I'm telling you, that was really something. Watch the hands of Derek Dickey in this situation right here. The Big E tries to get the ball inside to Chenier, and he takes it right away from him.
Oscar, what can we say about this young man at the free throw line, Phil Smith? Not only has he scored, but I have been impressed with the calmness that he displayed on the court when he came in. 19 points, shooting .420.
I tell you, he has been super, and Derek Dickey, a guy who's been in the doghouse. They're taking the home court advantage away from the Washington team. What can you say about that? They were down, Brent. They came back. They continue to come back. This kid, Dickey, this young man, Dudley, and Smith, you can talk about the whole bench.
Simply an amazing performance from that team, and they have taken away a very important factor, the home court advantage for the Bullets. They must now go out west, Oscar, and try to win out there in San Francisco.
This is true. Kevin Porter leaving the ball game. He's the key to their team. He makes everything go for it. When he's out, they sort of stand around.
The people of Milwaukee, like people anywhere, except they live in the beer capital of the world. And the beer they drink most here is Pabst Blue Ribbon.
You owe me a blue ribbon.
It's the overwhelming...
It would be much too early to count the Washington Bullets out of this series, simply because they are a tremendous basketball game. And game 2, you will see Tuesday night on CBS from San Francisco. It will get underway at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll see, Oscar, if those comeback kids can keep it going.
Yeah, this is true, but I still say the difference in this game was Kevin Porter going out.
All right, for Oscar Robertson and Sonny Hill, this is Brent Musburger saying so long from the Capitol Center, where that final score is amazing. Golden State 101, Washington 95.
NBA playoffs sponsored by the Yellow Pages. Let your fingers do the walking. Ford and your local Ford dealer. The closer you look, the better we look. And by Light Beer. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less. The NBA playoffs are a presentation of CBS Sports.